Welcome back. Let me touch it down a little bit real quick. Yes, y'all. We are back. Welcome, Rellism Live Sports Talk, episode 114. You know I gotta rock these Mets out here. Thank y'all for watching on YouTube Live, listening on podcast formats. My boy Tommy's running the Facebook page. Check it out. Tons of good stuff on there. We taking on all comers, or we trying to collab with all comers. You know, I've been meeting a whole lot of people on Twitter about different things. Big shout out to the 33 podcast that was on right before me, and the T's Take podcast that's going to be on right after me. Check those out on the YouTube. Got love for the Mamba and love for my mama. You know what I'm saying? Rellism Sports Talk, where we talk about sports from Hall of Famers to local talent to the big time storylines. We talk about this crazy dude KD out here with his demands. We talk about the Mets, baby, the real team of New York. The deal is done in Baltimore. Watson's appeal, which we knew was going to happen. Contenders, maybe some missing pieces are still out there. You know what I mean? That you can grab up. The college coach poll came out. We're going to just talk about the top 5. And then a legend. Looks like she's going to be hanging it up as Miss Serena Williams. So thank y'all for tuning in live. Appreciate it. Whatever comments we got going on, just type it in the box. Appreciate it. All right, let's get it. So KD, my man, me and Brandon talk about it all the time. This dude ain't no alpha. He ain't no alpha like that. Well, where you get these kahunas from? All of a sudden, you walking up in the owner's office talking about get rid of the coach and get rid of the GM, or it's me. How you gonna do that, son? How you gonna do that? What you mean me? You already asked for a trade. You don't think they've been looking and listening? They just ain't found one yet for you. You know what I mean? You know what you gonna do? Sit out? You gonna sit out for 4 years, homie? 4 years? You ain't got much time left, buddy. But anyway, wasn't it you that got Kenny Atkinson, who was the dang good coach, fired? Because you and your boy wanted Steve Nash because y'all knew he couldn't coach? And y'all thought y'all could just run things? That backfired a little bit, didn't it? I mean, who do you think you are, KD? Like, what's going on? I mean, at least LeBron was in the same footprint as what I describe you as, softies. At least he wins where he goes. He'll make sure that team is stacked up enough that he can win. You out here thinking, me and Kyrie's enough. We're going to do all these things. You missed first year. Then Kyrie out here not doing this, whatever's going on. Why is Kyrie never mentioned? You don't mention nothing else. You trying to blame the GM and the coach. The GM and the coach? You ain't say nothing about Kyrie, whether for him or against him. We don't know where you stand at. What's going on? I don't understand how you're asking for all these things. Now there's word that you talking about you might want to play with James Harden again. Well, what they gonna do? What's Philadelphia gonna give up? What's Philadelphia gonna give up for real? Unless Tommy's right about James Harden being the piece for the Sixers and Joel Embiid, that ain't gonna happen, man. We all know that ain't gonna happen. I don't understand why there's no responsibility towards Kyrie. I don't understand that because I think that was the biggest issue. I think that was the reason why Harden wanted to leave because he didn't want to deal with that chaos. He knows his time's very limited. That's why he took less money now to be where he's at because he thinks he has a chance to win and getting the pieces that they got. Maybe they can with all the chaos. And then you look at all the other teams that talk about being the trade. Yeah, Golden State. Yeah, Boston. They probably make the best packages for you. I mean, Toronto too, but you know, whatever. But I'm looking at it like I don't see Boston or Golden State pulling the trigger. I think the more he talks and the more he's demanding stuff, these people are probably like, yo, we was in the finals last year, yo. We don't want this chaos and all these problems with this team coming up in the office demanding stuff. I will tell you one thing here in a minute. So I don't know what he thinks he's going to do. I don't know what he thinks he's going to do because you're not going to get fair for you. You know what I mean? People aren't going to give up everything for you because they the net have to give you a discount. because you're making it impossible to be there. Kyrie done dogged the coach. How's he gonna be there? You didn't basically threw the coach GM under the bus. How you gonna be there? Ain't nobody gonna give up the farm for that. They gonna wait for a discount. But I'll tell you all your worries for all this drama and stuff that you're doing. There's one team that I can still see maybe being able to pull that trigger. This team is in win now mode. They're a low market team under the radar, but they've got some star power and star potential. We might not have seen it all yet, but it's there and the hype was real. And that's the Pelicans. That's the Pelicans. Whether it's a package of Zion Williamson and some draft picks or whatever, maybe throw in a couple other players. They got a couple centers that's pretty good and whatever. Or if you're going to do BI, because you gave Zion his money, BI is going to get his money. So maybe it's a package like that. I wouldn't give up both of them. But you still got CJ McCollum, too. You got CJ McCollum. That's fantasy, baby. Fantasy! I love fantasy football. Anyway. But so I think the Pelicans may be trying to do something. It's interesting because it's getting crazy because him doing that demand and it didn't work out his way. I don't know what else to say for him. I don't know what else to say. It could be bad news, buddy. It could be bad news. But I'll tell you something that's not bad news. It's my New York Mets, baby. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, I got on the screen, I got my figurines, strawberry, good. You know what I'm saying? I'm popping them up everywhere. You know what I mean? Mets, baby, everywhere, Mets. Yeah, I know. So what? We don't get to celebrate like the Yankees do all the time. But we the real team of New York this year. I don't care how many home runs Aaron Judge is because he's going to do that for us next year. Watch. Winning 4 out of 5 from the Braves, that was big-time deals. We done won 6 straight now after destroying today. And we got the dude back, Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom is back. Jacob deGrom is there. And he was talking about he's not going to be with the Mets no more. Here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. We got new ownership now. It's new ownership. My dude spends money. My dude will spend money to make that team win. And deGrom's going to see that, and he's going to stay, and we're going to be on top of things. So I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for the Mets. We're doing it. But what's crazy is the wild card. You got the Braves, defending champions. They ain't going to go down without a fight. Then you got the Phillies. Bryce Harper's coming back, do some DHing. The Padres, after pulling that Juan Soto deal, you know, they got a huge threesome there. And then the Brewers, who are a talented squad. You know what I mean? 3 of those 4 is going to make the wild card, as long as we don't do another debacle like we've done in the past. So we'll see how that goes. And not to go to the American League, because I told you how I feel about them. I think it's the Astros. I think the Astros are there. I think it's the Astros. I think the Yankees will not get there because I don't trust them, I don't trust them in the playoffs. Kind of like Dodger pitching. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I think the Mets-Dodgers would be a gigantic NLCS. But what is up with the Orioles? The Orioles. That's, hometown, Nationals, Orioles, whatever. I can't cheer for the Nationals like that because they ain't my division. But the Orioles, really? It got rained out with half a game out of the wild card. The Orioles. It's crazy. See, this is what baseball needs to be pumping up. Stories like this. Pump these stories up to get a better fan base, man. They've got to do something. They've got to do something. Get with Geico. Get with somebody to get your commercials. Get with Budweiser. They had all whatever commercials you got to come up with. You got to do something for their advertising because their advertising is not going well. Let me pause for a second. So, we don't talk a lot about baseball, but I'm talking about more and more with these Mets. These Mets. And I don't want to hear nothing about the music that people come out with, making fun of the Met and all that. I don't care. We're doing things. Our pitching is scary. It's scary. You know what else is scary? The NFL. The way the NFL is doing Deshaun Watson. And I'm not hold up for everybody jump on me. I don't mean like they're making fun of him or something, but the judge ruled what she ruled. The NFL obviously had their own idea of what they wanted it to be. So appeal it. we'll get an independent person to do it. Independent person? Ain't nothing independent. This dude out here is trying to keep his job with the NFL and keep on building his branch of lawyer and all this stuff going on. That's all a setup. And what showed it even more was Roger Goodell is out here talking about, well, the evidence clearly shows that it should be at least a full year ban. That's like being a jury. And the judge says, you hear some crazy stuff, and the judge's like, oh, jury, wipe that from your memory. You can't use that evidence. Man, you heard that. Everybody heard that. You don't think that independent, arbitrary person heard that? He probably knew that ahead of time. This dude's going to get a year. He's going to get a year because that's what the world wants to happen. And the NFL is the most scrutinized sport. Like, they handle things so weirdly, and they take so long. Procrastination, as George Teague said. Why do they take so long? You already know what you want to do to the guy. So just do it and get it over with. Do it and get it over with, because you're messing up. Now the Browns are talking about he's going to start the preseason game this weekend. So if you don't do something before then, this dude is going to be on the field, which is going to be more bad publicity. So if you're going to do something, you better do something now. Stop wasting time. Get it done. Get it done. It's not fair to anybody. You know what you want to have to do it. So do it. You know what I mean? Then the question becomes, if he has to sit out another year, if you're Cleveland, is he worth the wait? Is there a way to get your money back and say, you know what? I don't even want to deal with this shit. 3 years. Same dude. I know Michael Vick came through, back, he was a little rusty, but he did right. But can Watson do that? I don't know. Is he going to be worth it? Is really what the biggest thing is. Especially if you listen to what I said, and I said they should go get Jimmy G now. Your team is built to win. You have a team built to win. Go get Jimmy G. The problem is, if Jimmy G, like he does in every locker room he's in, he's liked. If they like him and they're winning, they might want to say, why are we giving you all this guaranteed money? And we can take that back because of legalities, things in your contract, or whatever you want to say. And you can give it to Jimmy G for way less and win. I think that's something to keep an eye on, but our other team or so that could probably use Jimmy G's services just in case. Just in case. But if I'm Cleveland, I'm doing it right now. Because you know good and well Roger Goodell's not going to let it go less than a year. He's not. He's not. At all. And even if it's like 12 to 10 games, or whatever it be, that's the whole year, dog. That's the whole year. Jimmy G, you can get him finish out this year. Then somebody will pay him. He can audition and help you. Everything, like I said, with Baker. Auditioning, before they made the trade. I think they should do that. But it's just a shame that the Billionaire Boys Club, they get different treatment. They can do all kinds of things. They can fondle 1,000 women and allow other people to do all these things. And would you get slapped on the wrist? We can cheat. We can do all kinds of things. There ain't no problem. We can supposedly pay off things or lose on purpose, supposedly, and really slaps on the wrist stuff. So I don't know. But my question is, the way Roger Goodell just came out and said something like that, suppose people in the organization and players did what Goodell was doing. How would that look? Suppose the Washington Commanders, organization, people that are working there, and players, all media like, yo, our owner's doing this. This is awful. He should definitely, What would happen? Sure, he could cut all these players, but at what point would it be that enough would be enough to get rid of? I mean, people don't lose their teams. They just pass it down from generation to generation. Nothing is ever egregious enough. I think that's a problem. And I think it's time for a change. And we're going to get to that at the end of the show in Terrell's thoughts. We're going to talk about Serena. That's going to be my Terrell's thoughts, but it's going to coincide with what I'm trying to say about the Billionaire Boys Club owners, So Moving on to other football. The deal is done in Baltimore. Finally, the deal is done. Highest paid. Great job, Baltimore, for getting this contract done. It took forever. Tucker is the highest paid kicker in the NFL. I am sitting here like, Lamar Jackson, what is going on? The preseason is starting this weekend. You got GMs talking trash about this dude. We got former players. Why is all this hate coming out of nowhere? What is up with all this hate all of a sudden? This dude's been getting hated on since he was in college, all the way through now. Yeah, people always want to throw race into it and all that. But I'm not sure race is always included in that, or maybe he just can't throw the ball as well as we might want him to, Tommy. I don't know. But I think he is getting a lot of scrutiny. But, dude, you could have signed your contract long. Who are you waiting for to sign a contract? Who are you waiting? Kyler Murray got his money. What do you want? What do you want, dude? Like, at some point, you have to decide, okay, do I want to be here because they want me to be here and I can sign a contract? So, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Don't Isaac Thomas. Don't lose the bag. Don't pull the bag. Don't fumble it. I'm just saying, Lamar. Don't fumble the bag. But yeah, we got a lot of contenders that you can see on our big board back here that the Raw Sports Talk League does. We got our picks and predictions and things like that to coincide with our fantasy league also. But there's some players out there. There's either players that want to be traded, or there's players that's out there as free agents or whatnot. But I'm looking at these contenders and I'm looking at the different things going on in camps. I'm looking at different things as far as like injuries and stuff like that. And I'm looking at it like, I don't know if y'all saw the Hall of Fame game, but Josh Jacobs, I don't care what they say about him not wanting to be traded, or they don't want to trade him. You got to play up. I saw 4 different running backs and the one you just drafted. I think you were auditioning him for a trade, but I'll tell you what, that might not be the worst thing to happen for him because they didn't pick up your 5th-year option anyway. So going to a new scenery where they could use you and it'll be a winner could be a win-win for him. And he has tons of tread on his tires still. Tons of tread still. So I'm going to give you some picks of some teams in 1 second. I got to pause a little bit on my podcast, you know what I'm saying? Starting to learn the trade a little bit. Okay, I teased you long enough. So we're looking at Josh Jacobs, and we're like, what teams that's ready to win right now? What teams ready to win right now could use him? So I started looking at over in the AFC, which is probably going to be the hardest thing for him to go is in the AFC. The Bills. We got Devin Singletary. I know they took James Cook, but if you look at all the running backs that they tried to get, it was like scat backs. They tried to get my boy from Washington. They tried to get him. They tried to get some other scat back players, and they actually got Duke Johnson, who's a scat back type dude. You get Jacobs, who last year had the most reception in his career in the NFL, so he can obviously catch the ball. Now, granted, all he had to do was throw it to Hunter Renfrow and him and the tight end, so he ain't gonna get any catches now with 4 running backs and gobble monster Devontae Adams. So, but the Bills, they're built ready to win now. The other team in the AFC is the Colts. The Colts are solidly built. Jonathan Taylor is solidly built. But running backs, something could happen. You put somebody like him behind him to take the workload off him and have a fresher in the playoffs. I think it'd be a good mix and a good backup plan. This is last year. You ain't got to guarantee nothing. That'd be a hell of a backup, in case Jonathan Taylor went down, because your team is built to win right now. You flip it over to FC. Cardinals. And I like Connor, but he's been injured too. I think Jacobs fit there good too. I think he fit there, especially with D-Hop out. He can catch the ball at the backfield. Hunter can't, but I think he could do it probably better. So, and then the other team, which I hope never happens, is the Philadelphia Eagles. Because I've never been sold on Miles Sanders. Never have. Not even at Penn State I wasn't. You know what I mean? And Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott. You put Jacobs back there, They got a solid offensive line, a running quarter. I'm just saying, man, that could be scary. I hope that never happens. So then we get to the next guy, OBJ. OBJ sitting there, I know he needs to be completely healthy because 2 ACL injuries on the same jump. You got to, whether you come back in week 3 or not, it don't matter. But everybody's always talking about the Rams, coming back to the Rams. I think the Rams are okay, even if he don't come back there. I think they're okay. I'm gonna go back to that Bills team. Von Miller's recruiting them heavy. Yeah, they got Diggs, they got Gabriel Davis. And we didn't think Odell could fit with the Rams with Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson and Robert Woods, but you saw him slide on in there in the Super Bowl. The chance he was on pace to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. He was on pace, so you can't tell me he can't go to Buffalo and do that. That could be scary too. Another team, the Dallas Cowboys, which I hope don't happen either. Because I mean, they got CeeDee Lamb, they got the rookie. That I know they're high on this rookie, but come on, Odell, Jerry Jones like that swag. He says that he's going to roll with the. I'm just saying, I think that the Cowboys will be another fit. And a team that nobody's talking about because they think that all these young guys, Rodgers in Green Bay. You don't think Aaron Rodgers would love to have a Odell on his squad? I think he would. So that's just a couple teams, and he can wait. You know what I'm saying? He can wait, come back, whatever. Going to Jimmy G. We talked about obviously the Browns. I think the Browns should go after yesterday. And the Rams. Matthew Stafford does not look right. Matthew Stafford, I don't care what people say, that elbow, a baseball injury, that's not good, yo. Because this team is defending Super Bowl champions. They're ready to win now. And another team, sleeper teams. This team, the Eagles again. If you're not sold on Jalen Hurts, you put a guy like him back there, yeah, it might push him because Gardner Minshew is not pushing him. Sorry. Gardner Minshew is not pushing him. Let's say he falls flat on his face. Jimmy G could come in there and lead you deeper. I'm just saying. I don't know how they would work out the money or how much the contract they'd have to pick up or whatever, but I think that at the end of the day, the 49ers do not want him. They don't want him to be released so Seattle can take him in the same division. I think they would lower their asking price to get him away from Seattle. I honestly do. So that's just 3 teams for them. And my final who asking for trade, Kareem Hunt. People were talking about him going back to Kansas City. I can't see it. They got like 14 running backs over there. But I tell you who else. What about them Saints? They just released Malcolm Brown, who used to be with the Rams. We don't know what's going to happen with Alvin Kamara. Same thing I said with Jacobs, fit with the Bills or the Cardinals. You put some speed like that with him or the Eagles. But then 2 teams that nobody's talking about. What about those Bucks? Leonard Fournette. He looks like Leonard Fat. I mean, he looks big. You don't think Tom Brady would like him coming out the backfield? Throwing it to Kareem Hunt? I think he'd love that because that offensive line is suspect. So he might have to get that ball. If you saw the practice with the Dolphins, he was getting smacked around. Like, it was getting kind of serious. So, and then my last team is the Bengals. I know they got Joe Mixon, but Joe Mixon, I've never been sold on him like that. Samaje Perine, you saw what happened to him. You saw what happened to him in the Super Bowl. He couldn't make the big play. You don't think Kareem Hunt can make that play? So these are teams I'm looking at. That one piece of difference whether you make it far in the playoffs to Super Bowl or not. It's all about just going after it. Go after it like Padres did with Soto. Go after it. If you want to win, go to win. You play to win the game. So here in just 1 second, we're going to talk about the college football coaches poll top 5. All right, we're back. Here it is. College football top 5. No surprise. They picked Alabama to be the one. Of course. Quarterback. You're Alabama. Roll Tide. You rolling Tide. Of course. 2 is Ohio State. And they got Stroud. They got a quarterback, too, that could win this year's Heisman. You know what I'm saying? They're returning 18 players. starting, 18. 18. Georgia, on the other hand, number 3. They done lost by 18 to the draft. But they're still number 3. They reloading. But I think that losing that many players to the draft, they're not going to be enough to get over the top. Listen, number 4 is a big jump for me because I think they took a step back. And Teddy Bear, I don't know if y'all know Teddy Bear from the movies, his son or whatever is out there playing quarterback. I thought last year was going to be his big jump to move up and become that superstar. I'm not sold on him. Yeah, you're going to beat up on the ACC because the ACC is what? And then, of course, we got number 5, my Golden Domers, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, number 5. Top recruiting class. We doing recruiting class. New coach, bringing that whole new giddy up to him. I like that. So we'll see. But how did Texas get a number 1 vote? Texas got a number 1 vote. Come on, guys. But I think it's going to start week 1. We talked about Ohio State. I think if I had to pick, and it's Alabama, but if I had to pick, I would pick Ohio State. Would be my favorite. Just because we got so many returning starters, so many players, and that quarterback looks official, just like Alabama's. And it's because I hate Alabama. So that's part of it. But I'll tell you what, week 1, we travel to Columbus, Notre Dame. If we can come out there and show out and beat them, don't play. Irish might be back. We might be ready to get up on the big boys. But until we do it, until we can get there, I'm not as optimistic. But we'll see. We'll see week 1. And then Oregon traveling to Georgia. And I'm telling you, Oregon might not have a loaded team, but they're still Oregon. They're going to have players. Georgia, it's not going to be as easy as you think for Georgia. I just don't. They lost so much talent. And I know they reload, and I know they recruit well, and I know they do all these things. But I think it's going to be a tougher game than people think. But week 2, Alabama, you got to go to a team that got they got 1 first place vote in Texas. They're going to roll all over Texas. Whoever gave Texas that 1 vote for number 1 is going to be the reason why Alabama beats Texas 60-0. Your fault for voting for Texas, because Alabama's going to take it to heart. They're going to use it for bulletin board material, and they're going to destroy you. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. But we'll see, because with this new format, with the playoffs and everything, the preseason number 1 has only won 1 time. So that makes me smile because Alabama's number 1. So hopefully hopefully this won't be the second time that this happens. Because I hate Alabama. Love for you, George Teague. Hate Alabama. I shouldn't say hate, I'm just envious. I'm envious. All right, we'll come finish the show up with Terrell's thoughts. And it's going to be on the great Serena Williams, winding down her career. But get to the whole thing, went back to the Billionaire Boys Club. We'll be back in 1 second. All right, we're back. Terrell in the show, the GOAT, Serena Williams. Greatest, in my opinion, greatest female tennis player ever. Maybe even men's too. I don't know. I have to look it up. But greatest women tennis player ever. Talking about winding it down. She wants to have more of a family. Good for you. You deserve it. I mean, I think you've done things for female athletes, social justice. You've done a lot of great things. We know all your stats. We know all your majors and all your accomplishments. We know all that. We don't need to go over all that. My thing about these greats, and I guess it was just the inspiration of Bill Russell and what he did and what he stood for and the things that he tried to do out of life also. I look at these Billionaire Boy Club owners. All these great athletes, The greatest NBA player, Michael Jordan. Yes, good job, Michael Jordan. You're an owner. And Kobe probably would have been an owner. LeBron, his goal is to be an owner. So thank you, NBA, for embracing this. Men's golf, Tiger Woods. You're the best thing that ever happened to golf as far as building the brand and pushing the notoriety of it and things like that. What would it take for people like Tiger and Serena and minority athletes that are the best or somewhat categorized as one of the top best to do more ownership? Now, I know there's not an ownership in golf or ownership in tennis, but we play majors at the Masters. We play majors at the U.S. Open. Why can't we have a major at the Woods? You design your own courses to make it a major. Why can't we do stuff like that? Same thing. I don't understand how we have no power anywhere. We're never going to change these dynamics and these things that we feel are wrong and things like that, or whatever, or equality or whatever, if they don't push for more. Push for more. And that's what I love about Kobe Bryant, because I know that he would have tried. I know that he would have tried in some way. Some way. I don't care if it's owning WNBA teams. Own something. Be a owner of something, because when you own something like that, you have a bigger voice and a bigger platform and a bigger everything. You can hire different kind of things. You can bring forth different ideas and structures. I feel like people get just fat and happy and they got their check and they're always going to be on TV smiling and waving. That's not the end goal. That's not the end goal. Sure, they might not think about these other things, but we're never going to change any ideas of anything if we don't ever expand and push forward to more ideas and more goals for everything. We need to push further for change. Push further for change. Whether you got a group together, we got Walmart and all these people like that buying the Broncos. Yeah, we had. Tommy was telling me that there was a black billionaire or something that was in the running. Well, why ain't some other black superstar athletes joining with him to try to get this team or try to get a team? Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we working together to try to do something like this, to jump in the minority of this? You know what I mean? I think that would really help. Just going further in the future of everything, not just sports, of life. Of life. I think the more diversity we have in anything makes it better. The more open ideas and different values and different cultures and things makes us learn more things about each other, which can only enhance our mind to make things a bigger brand. I don't understand why we always get stuck in this one way. We should never still be talking about a black quarterback not being smart enough. Those words should never still be coming out of people's mouths. Why are they? Why would it? Why would that be a thought process for something? Why? Everything starts at the top. Everything starts at the very top. And if we're not going to help get to that very top, then we're always going to have these same discussions. That's my Terrell's thought. Rellism Live Sports Talk episode 114. Thank you guys. Thanks for the people that was hitting me up. I'll answer the questions on the next show. We'll talk about some things on the Raw show Friday night, 2 episodes. Hopefully we'll have some more people there with me. If not, hopefully me and Brandon will hold it down. If not, hold it down. Don't matter. So thank y'all. Appreciate it. Get ready for Teague's Take. About 26 minutes on the podcast. Thank y'all. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.